Hi, and welcome to Let's Talk ASPM. It's day number 4, I think. It's the last day of the expo. So it's been a great week. It's been a hit week. Thank you for everybody for coming by the booth. Thank you for those that came to the PPC Connect event on Monday. Let's wrap it up. Let's go take a walk around. Let's say goodbye to some folks, and then we'll see you all next year.
Again here with ArmorCode, coming live from RSA Conference 2025. Hope you're watching at home. Maybe some of you are actually walking the halls here and seeing this after the fact. We're excited to be here with ArmorCode. I'm here again with Mark and Rohan, and we wanted to take this podcast and talk about the sights and sounds of RSA, maybe even bring up RSA Past if you guys would like to. Rohan, why don't you kick it off for us and let us know what's kind of the thematic that you're seeing up and down these hallways, 600 plus vendors, and also how many RSAs have you done now? Let's start there.
This is my third RSA, so not a lot.
That's
right?
not bad,
But
yeah.
third RSA in succession. So
Okay.
yeah, I kind of seen the transition of, I would say, from zero trust to AI, right?
Okay.
And AI being kind of the murmurs, and to kind of AI being the full-blown pitch everywhere on the board, right?
Sure.
But at the same time, I would say, like, I think as the adoption of AI across the board, across the industry, right, is increasing, be it consumers like us when we use that in our personal lives,
Yeah.
or enterprises and companies like us, products like us, where we kind of use that in a more meaningful manner, the nuances of what is happening with the security companies around AI is all coming out now much more clearly, which means the use cases are much more clear, right, and they are much more relatable. At the same time, which also means that the conversations that are happening on the show floor especially are much more meaningful.
And you're comparing that maybe to your experiences last year.
Last year and the year before as well, right?
Okay, so use cases got more firmed up.
They're getting fine-tuned.
Got it.
For sure. Right?
Interesting.
And I think that's where we will start seeing adoption.
Okay.
And it goes beyond a simple chat interface. It goes beyond real use cases and the real pain points and problem statements that we are going to solve. And I think we are seeing that more and more across the board here at the main booth as well as at the early stage.
Well said, yeah. Well, Mark, we should probably ask you, how many RSAs have you now tucked under your belt?
Actually, not that many more than you. 4.
Just
actually,
okay. 4.
Yeah. So I think that the big thing I agree it was zero trust, SBOM for a moment, right? And then AI, right? And of course, so my personal journey, I was involved in the last AI wave, like back in 2018.
OG
right?
wave, yeah.
Yeah. The OGA, well, yeah,
OGA wave.
OGA wave. So when we started coming into this world, like the thing that from a product perspective, that I think it's always critical is that you don't just focus on the shiny technology, you focus on the outcome, okay? What are you trying to achieve? So last year, of course, at RSA last year, we talked about AI correlation, then we talked about AI remediation, leveraging, so for correlation, supervised machine learning, for remediation, it was Gen AI, LLM.
That's true.
And then this week, we're talking about agentic AI, and that's the big wave right now, right?
Good point.
When I look at what a lot of folks are doing, I do see an over tendency to, in essence, put AI in front of whatever security term we were using. before.
AI washing.
Now it's AI static analysis. Now it's AI AppSec. There are a few vendors that are actually really doing interesting things. Like there's guys, I think it's Canary AI. They're doing agentic warfare, and that's actually a really interesting way that they're looking at how the AI is actually handling how secure it is, and the scoring. It's actually one of the more interesting ones that I've seen.
Okay.
So what we're doing is really, again, at ArmorCode, we're focused on how do we solve a problem with AI.
The real problem, yeah.
And the key thing about Anya is it solves the fundamental problem of interpretation and action. So you look at a dashboard, and actually I will say, my first RSA, that was the thing that struck me the most. dashboards, tables, lots of manual interfaces.
Yeah.
And you walk around now, there's like still the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's showing dashboards.
That's the usual method of operation. Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? You spend a lot of time, you build a dashboard, you got a nice number.
Yep.
Your CISO comes along and says, oh, I see my risk posture is 300, that's great.
Yep.
Walks along again, looks at it the next day and it's 600. Why is it 600? Now you have to start spending time doing the security analysis, looking
Yeah.
at what happened in the last 7 days. This is the problem that Anya solves.
Yeah.
So with Anya, you say, well, just click on the widget. It goes through its process. So it analyzes the widget, the context. It queries the data. It looks at the data. It evaluates it. It then synthesizes a response. And then you can say, okay, the security posture changed. What changed in the last 7 days?
Yeah.
What teams do I need to go and talk to? Go ahead and create tickets, send notifications. This is how we're going to revolutionize and turn really upside down how we approach software security.
Good
and that's
point.
a little Easter egg. So when you see the Anya logo,
Yes.
it's actually the ArmorCode shield turned upside down, because that's where we're really trying to take a different approach. Now, dashboards, reports, still going to be there,
Oh, yeah.
foundational to what we do.
Foundational,
but it's
yes.
how can we reduce the human waste cycles?
Yeah.
And really, I think this is where, this year, we're really seeing the first steps of this. I talk
Yeah.
about Anya in concentric circles: knowledge, insights, automations, and then going towards autonomous.
Autonomy, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Humans still in the loop. Microsoft, during the PVC Connect panel
Oh,
we
yeah.
talked about earlier,
That's right.
they talked about human in the loop. Still has to be there. So
Yeah.
you want to be able to build in those checks to say, hey, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And then let me audit you. So yeah, a
Makes
lot of
sense.
exciting stuff. There are a lot of startups in the new in the innovation area. A lot had AI-centric stuff. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Like the early stage is always a place to kind of see what's more cutting edge,
Yeah.
right? So to say, at the same time, for them and for a lot of us, it's a good validation of whether those use cases are real. So we saw deep fake detection technologies, which is a real problem, right? And it's
Yeah.
going to be a big thing. To more traditional enterprise, usage of AI, how do you put guardrails around it?
Yeah.
So I think there are all the right problem statements that they are talking about. Of course, these things get refined over time. The industry as a community, 30,000 people here will decide the fate of those things. But at the end of the day, I'm sure there will be a lot of good coming out of that early stage. I'm quite promising.
That's interesting. I think about, because I've had about 18 RSAs, so I've seen a lot of the things coming. Well, I don't want to say that because then it makes me feel old, but but I do. I had a conversation yesterday with Karthik, our own CSTO, and he's got some RSAs under his belt as well, and we were sharing stories about how there were tools that, especially on the network security side of the house, that you would have had UTM, and you had all these different vendors that are all battling it out. Then there was the XDR battles of EPP and EDR coming out to battle it out. And I think back with my own usage in marketing, choosing and finding an AI tool, it feels like 1993 all over again, when we're all finding out browsers for the first time. Are you a Netscape person, or are you, what are you running on? It feels like that's what we're doing now today, that we're all cherry picking our AIs, and nobody wants to, it's a fear of FOMO. We don't want to miss out on the right AI. So maybe I've chosen ChatGPT. Rohan, are you on Claude?
I think a lot of different places. Right?
Yeah. Mark, are you on Gemini?
So no, I'm on GPT, and then of course we use as the foundation of the platform. We're using Anthropic Claude. So yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's I think it's
Oh.
yeah, but you know what? I want to just point out some things that we're missing from here.
Yeah.
There's one thing which and you and I were talking about this on the walk over to the podcast. The one thing that we're not seeing at all is quantum. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I saw an ISSA talk about a year ago on quantum, and it was scary as heck, talking about what's going to happen in probably 8 years. But I'm not seeing the incremental or the necessary movements to prepare for that.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of distracted by AI as an industry, but
Yeah.
it's like quantum, it's where's your cryptographic key being used? It's like it's just an interesting segue.
Yeah.
The other thing I haven't seen is COVID. Lots of people hugging and shaking hands. And
Yeah. Yeah.
Find out in a day or two.
Yeah,
That's true.
We'll check back, folks. Well, thank you guys. What do you think 5 years from now? What do you think is going to be out there on the hallways here at RSA Conference?
Bots?
Put on your visionary hat.
Let's kind of do that, right? I think 5 years down the line, a lot of things should change, right, with the way we are moving.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the use case, pain points, those are one thing, but one thing I would I hope, right, it's my bet that probably there'll be fewer people on the floor.
I was thinking the same thing. We'll send our agents to go
We'll
attend.
send our Optimus bots.
Yes.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Because why not?
Yeah. $30,000. Pick one up. Charge it up. I don't know if it could. If I can't make it all day in my shoes, how could I have enough charge in an Optimus to make it?
And then I'm going to have a cybersecurity startup that's going to make sure that that's secure, right? It's all safe and secure.
Oh yeah. by means of you walking behind it all day.
Maybe, yeah.
Private security guard. Mark, what do you think? 5 years out, what could RSA Conference look like?
You know, I don't know about robots roaming around, although I rode in my first Waymo last night.
Oh, you did?
And now that's my vehicle of choice in San Francisco. I did it again first thing this morning. So
wow.
Phenomenal.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, so do that next.
I was going to try that. I got to get some footage.
But I do think there's going to be a lot more autonomy. I think the problem will change.
Okay.
It won't be as much of kind of like reacting to vulnerabilities that are coming in and events, because we'll have a lot of autonomy that'll already handle that.
Yeah.
It'll be figuring out how do we manage the autonomy and how do we audit the autonomy. But who knows? I mean, I've seen so much change even in the last 2 years.
Yeah. So I think my perspective was also right. A lot of smart people are here, right?
Yes.
They can have much more smarter discussions sitting in closer rooms with smart people. And the most basic foundational task of introductions and all can be done by an Optimus robot. Why not, right? Because that's what you all want to do through AI.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I guess I got to leave it there. I would have. So we've talked about trends. We've talked about AI, agentic AI. There's a lot of buzz, a lot of energy here. I'm thinking, yeah, if we put 5 years out, the RSA 2030, I think you're right. I think there could be robots. I was thinking just our AI would somehow connect. I don't know if people would pay the money to get the backpack and the privilege to go through the full conference pass, or if they could just get that absorbed. I do know that RSA has monetized this year for the first time ever. You can now buy a subscription to RSAC content. Time will tell how that goes, maybe later this year for subscribers. But I'm excited to see what the future holds regardless. And I think ArmorCode is probably going to be at that edge of that future as we go.
We're certainly continuing down that path, so yes.
Excellent. Rohan, Mark, thank you very much. And thank you for watching another Let's Talk ASPM podcast. Like, subscribe, share with friends and colleagues, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you.
So that's it. We're wrapped. We did the last demo. We're done. We're now going to go and have pizza. Thanks, team. Awesome job. See you next year.